Kia ora, my name is Antonio, or Zinger, and today we're going to be looking at Blackout versus Alex and Blackout versus Tiki. So, firstly, I want to apologize for the tardiness on my end, for not getting the VOD review up sooner. Just been moving around, got university starting, and I'm going to be going to Italy this year. So, a lot of moving parts, having to organize a lot of stuff. So I had to kind of refocus my things, knock everything out of the way, and now I'm more free. So I got to do this VOD review. Secondly, I watched all the VODs you sent me. I was particularly proud of the Lucas one for obvious reasons. But also the Brandy one was really good. But I don't want to comment on it for fear of like two main things. Like I do think there's some things that I could point out on it, but I think a lot of the things you've pointed out yourself. And I think it's kind of like it's me adding oil to a pot of pasta. You know what I mean? It's not going to do anything, right? I think you've got a better idea on how to probably adapt to Brendy than I do because I haven't played him, right? Maybe some things I would comment on are just like stealing banana away from him a little bit more and maybe using more down tilt or just like kind of like approaching neutral in like one thing I did notice from the VODs is that I do feel like you don't cook your nades enough in the matchup where you're throwing them and then they're bouncing off the shield when you know that Brandy is going to play patiently, so you might as well just cook the nades fully, right? That's the only thing that I would probably say. But other than that, it really just is based on what you think will work, and clearly it is working, right? So you're the guy who's beating Brandy. It's not me. You know what I mean? Um, but I do want to look at this set. Obviously, I prefer looking at losing sets because I feel like they tell you a lot about the mistakes you're making. And these two sets are really good for that. I do think this set this set in particular will be a bit more loaded than this set, but they're both very valuable. So have this playing in the
Yeah,
background
yeah,
real
yeah, of
quick.
course.
So
I'll ask
Squirtle,
the others,
I
but
mean
they'll be
Pokemon
probably
Trainer,
a
is a
thousand
very
percent
interesting
down, so
matchup to
that's
Snake
okay.
because two-thirds of the character actually do decent
I mean, you can
against
probably
Snake,
stay at.
but
I'll
only in
talk
very
to
specific
I'll talk to them,
areas.
but
You know what I mean?
I mean, we do have like
So
a double bed. If you want to share
if
his ad,
the
you
only
probably can.
character was Charizard, I'm fairly confident that Snake would kind of own him. That's not to say that Charizard
Like
is
it's a proper
useless
mattress as well.
against Snake,
Like
but that's
my
just to
couch
say
turns out
that
into
a
a
lot
mattress.
of the benefit Charizard gets as a character is as a last resort and being able to, hide away your habits on Charizard and just get the last kill, right? He's a very powerful character in that sense where you can just use him for the last kill and to live long, right? But Squirtle and Ivysaur both have very unique strengths that makes it kind of hard to be Snake at very specific intervals, right? So, Squirtle has very good neutral and very good early punish game, right? Uh, Ivysaur has a very good projectile game and a very good late percent punish game. Like a very good kill percent, right? He's got down air. He's got up B. He's got up air. He's got a lot of ways to break um, Snake out of his disadvantage, right, and catch him lacking. And so Squirtle, let's start off with Squirtle. The main reason why his early position is so good is based around his grab. Now, I was doing a bit of research and I was looking at this basic Squirtle combo. You can look for it fully. The link is up here, and I'll put it in the description. But essentially, a lot of his early combo game is effectively based on how he gets the grab. So he can get it from like an aerial, like a forward air, or I believe a back air. He can get it from an F tilt, and he can get it from obviously just like a whiff punish, right? Those are the main ways that you're gonna get the grab as Squirtle. Um, and this is important for a lot of reasons because it streamlines how his combo game is going to work. Now, obviously, as a Snake main that if the moment a character is fast, and has a good throw game, that's already a pretty tough thing for Snake to deal with, right? Because it means that they can break the space between you and punish you for pulling nades and throwing them. And playing around shield with them. Now, it is important to comment that these aren't the only combos he has, but these are probably the most important combos he has for the matchup, right? Like he can do some stuff with dash tag, but I'm not entirely sure on those things, right? The other thing is that the combo doesn't even need to be really true for it to work on Snake because you can just hit him with a move and then grab him, right? This is what's called as a considered a pick throw, right? It's a fighting game term where you punch someone with a really low maybe hit lag move and then grab them immediately, right? Uh, and the reason it exists is because it's really hard to react to, right? So even if it is true sometimes it isn't, but it's just impossible to react to, sort of thing, right? And his F tilt has really low hit lag, so it is pretty hard to react to. So anyway, I've waffled on and long about this. Let's jump into it.
You won't be sleeping on couch. You'll be sleeping
So
like a queen. Okay.
if I recall correctly, yeah, okay. So immediately one grab here. All right,
Fully
good
moved into
reversal. A bit of a greedy forward air, but I understand it. And here's another grab. So immediately, he reset the situation. He got this first grab. He wasn't able to eat as much of it as he wanted to because of the nade, which is great.
Fully moved
Well placed.
it.
Um, and then, he up aired. I mean, this is an A landing, but you don't need to get super technical about it. And then he did an F tilt grab because that's his goal, right? At early percents, he wants to get that. Converted to this, and then he's probably going to swap to Ivysaur around here because he's achieved his goal, right? Maybe he wants to get a little bit more percent, looking for dash tech. And okay, he's combo breaker. But even if he did it a little bit earlier, it would have made sense. The only real utility that Squirtle provides at later percents is a good tech chase into like down smash, which is valuable because then you can play more to your strengths as Ivysaur. But that's kind of the diminishing returns you get by sticking with Squirtle, because otherwise you are light, right? Now, one thing to keep in mind about Ivysaur is I believe they're at the 140% range for uh, down throw F tilt, so keep that in mind. And they're not too heavy, right? So okay, this is the part of Ivysaur that's quite tough to deal with, is the zoning. Now, I think there's a couple ways you could go by it. One way is you can just do the simplest, just toss neutral nades, right? It's kind of the spot where she struggles to hit you the most, right? And then another way is you could shield it and just play the War of Attrition. One other way is set up a C4 in this sort of zone to just kind of keep them on their toes, where if you predict that they're going to throw a side B, you can blow them up. It's a tough tool to deal with, right? I've theory crafted in the past, maybe just pulling a nade and seeing if I could use their hit lag to grab the nade and just throw it back, but I feel like nade can sometimes get exploded by the projectile, so I'm not super comfortable on it. I think probably the safest thing to do here is just neutral nade and good C4 play to just kind of disrupt his zoning. You could also play the air game and just shield here and just poop nades down here, but he does have a good aerial game to kind of pressure that, so it isn't an impossible thing for him to escape. Bit of a greedy forwarder, but I think you know that. Um,
There's a
you
grand
don't
total of 3 roofers in
necessarily
the
have to
house.
go for these sort of challenges on his like a super aggressive
Place is very
challenges on
small.
his
There's a
landing,
grand
because
total of 3
his
roofers
landing
in
isn't
the
actually
house.
that good. He doesn't have a lot of tools to deal with it. He's a fairly floaty character from my understanding, or like a mid faller. You could have maybe just gone for like a dash deck here, I think. In fact, that's probably what you tried to do here. Um, and it was probably the
Oh,
right thing to do.
4 rooms, I suppose, if you count the
Okay, trying to get down here. Miss input side B, I imagine. Trying to reclaim center stage. Okay, you've placed a nade here. Alright, whiffing a little bit dangerous. Nice cooked nade. Okay, so now we've got this neutral nade here, and it doesn't get a lot of value because he avoided it, but now he's running in, right? Now you've got him in a decently favorable position. Honestly, best things you could do here is probably roll in. It's not the worst because at the end of the day, Ivysaur can't have his fingers everywhere, right? It's not the worst. But holding shield wasn't bad either.
It'll be fine though.
Okay, now he desperately wanted to get that grab on you, but good on you for not giving
I'll
it.
let the others know.
Okay, he's got the
Oh.
grab on you. Honestly, don't worry about like getting grabbed here. Like it's honestly fine up until like 180%. Like it takes a while for his up throw to kill. So you can play safe. The last thing you want to do is get straight hit by everything. Cool back air. I actually really like that.
Oh no, that's a dead Charizard.
And nice.
Oh dude, I've actually blanked out. You distracted me so much that I forgot to put the mage
Yeah,
in on
I mean,
the next
I feel like you know
phase.
what you did there. Jumping in the airspace of Ivysaur was pretty dangerous, but you know, it was a tough decision to be in. All right, so we're gonna see a grab. That looks like a grab. There you go. Grab, up air. Good breakout.
Tiff has that effect on people, I guess.
Nice, good nade play. That's a really good thing to do, is just placing nades between you, because then he can't side B at all, which is like not the greatest zoning tool of all time, but it's pretty good.
That was a cool fox. Well done. Getting on the
Nice. I don't know. I don't know. I guess playing at max range might also be useful, because then you actually get them hit the sour hit of side B. So maybe what you want to do is like max range zone, get hit by the sour hit, and then throw it. There might be something there. Maybe I'll test that.
Do you want me to get the other microphone in? Nah, you're right. Okay.
Okay, he's trying to catch a
I can
jump.
do this.
Good
I can do a cheeky one of
conditioning
these.
not
So you
to.
can join in.
Alright, getting hit by that. Nice, good catching. That's good. Keep them on their toes always. Okay, now you can shield. You don't have to do too much. Yeah, I mean, you just got cool rolling. That's fine.
Yeah, I want to see the audio levels. Wait. Yeah. Okay. No.
Now we want to avoid the grab, so we don't want to do any risky dash tags. We don't want to do any risky down tilts. We want to be as possible. You could achieve this by kind of just being on platforms. To be
It's not bad.
Ooh, that was a risk, right? And what's gonna happen? You're gonna get grabbed. And that was good on Alex, waiting for that. That's really good game knowledge. Squirrel's done his job. Time to switch to Ivysaur. Now, as you can see here, rolling in isn't actually that bad, because rolling in, I think, is a bit of an underrated approach option. Not something you should do all the time. Against characters who don't have fast frame data and, you know, have decent aim lag, like Ivysaur, it can actually be a pretty solid strategy to not only get some ground, but get some. If you did like a jab here, you probably won the situation, and you definitely would have if you grabbed. Nice nade pulls. Getting a little happy in this sort of area, trying to land here, and I feel like he's adapting to it. So let's keep an eye on that.
Just want to double check.
Okay, good recovery. Side, yep. So you side B is -14. You really want to treat it with respect. If he does side B on you, I think one of the is doing a down tilt in return, because a lot of the time when Ivysaur does a side B on you, they'll just retreat to another side B or just shield, right? And so if you do a down tilt, you're generally safe enough to cover most of your odds, right? Like the worst thing that'll happen is you'll get hit by maybe another side B, but even then you can sometimes hit them with down tilt. Like it's honestly pretty consistent.
Yeah, well, it might be in time for another monthly before the major, so yeah.
Unfortunate self nade. But yep, okay, doing the neutral nades. Obviously the clanking's a bit unfortunate, but hey, it happens. I would probably stick to single nades in this matchup specifically, but you know, no worries. Nice C4, I really like that. Because I think, you know, unlike Pyramithra, where sticking people, I think sticking Pyramithra is kind of useless, but sticking PT I think is really useful, because you'll switch, and forcing out a switch on Pokemon Trainer is a lot more valuable than forcing out a switch on Aegis. So I actually really.
Comes off with a transform. Yeah.
Alright, trying to hit you with water. He actually speed ran his way back to Ivysaur, tried to catch you there. Okay, so you're bringing this back. You are playing a bit nades, a little bit risky, but look at this. You're fine, you're not gonna die. You know, you might even still have one more left, because now it's no longer sweet. But you're fine, just play this patiently. Don't look for these risks, right? You can still use down tilt. Charizard is not like a super safe character on whiff, right? Like if we're where is if we look at Pokemon Trainer Charizard, like his Poke's F tilt has 24 frames of end lag. His forward air has where's the landing lag? 90 frames of landing lag, 10 frames of landing lag on the nair, 20 frames of landing lag on the back air. Like you're fine to wait for them to whiff. You don't need to force yourself in. Honestly, I would say don't even try shield because the moment you pull a nade, it's their go to grab you because they know the fastest thing you can do out of a nade pull is a shield. So I mean, what you could do is stay out of their range and like here and do nade and then instantly buffer a spot dodge, right? That way because a lot of the time when they see you pull nade, the Charizard, the Squirtle, they're both fast runners, they're instantly going to run at you, right? So what you want to do is play the 50-50. Do nade, spot dodge. Or if you want to be even safer, nade roll in, nade roll out. That way you keep yourself safe from what they want to get, which is a dash grab.
Tiff, we can work something out. I don't mind.
Nice, good call out, keeping yourself safe, and nice jump. That was really good. As you can see here, they just
Tiff,
they
we
reacted
can
to
work
you
something out. I don't
pulling
mind.
the nade, and they're like, I gotta get them.
Yeah.
Or just being in that general area, and they're like, oh, I gotta get them. And I actually really like the C4 here.
Yeah.
That was so good, beautiful. Mwah.
We can work something
Well
out,
done.
Tiff.
The only throw condition you could have gotten here, and I'm just poking at this just for knowledge's sake, is you could have done down for a jab F tilt. I don't know how you feel on jab F tilt. I got pretty consistent at it, and it was decently rewarding. But then again, Charizard is heavy as fuck. Like, the only character that I would say absolutely learn jab F tilt on is Jigglypuff, because it just marks her.
Yeah.
But otherwise, well done.
The
Alright, let's speed through.
uh,
So, we talked about Squirtle, right? Let's focus again. Let's see how early they get the grab.
Track arms.
Because obviously they're starting with Squirtle. It's not just a coincidence that you start with Squirtle, right? Like, it's not just an evolutionary thing. Like a thematic thing. There's a reason why people start with Squirtle, and it's because of the early game.
You gotta change.
We're showing a mic here.
Do we have 3 people on the commentating?
Okay. Fantastic bait out here. You got him, like, square in the head here. I'm not sure if that was intentionally betting out the grab, but that was really good if so.
Yeah.
And then he caught you. So here, I feel like down tilt was definitely stronger, but
Francesco!
not bad.
Won game 1!
Francesco.
Sorry.
Okay.
It
Won
is.
game. Francesco! Won game 1!
So I doubt you meant to throw that nade. I feel like you tried to shield first. But even then, it's kind of a scary situation to be in.
Sorry.
Oh my god.
Okay, down tilt.
Nathan's
Maybe
on the
tried to
D,
be
is
reverse that in, I imagine. I doubt that was meant to be a soft B reverse.
Sorry, team. What's chat saying?
I wouldn't worry too much about the water, honestly. I feel like it's fine, right? Like, it doesn't really affect your zoning that much. It's kind of just a reset.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's just a hangout, guys.
getting the
A platonic
lead here.
little
Can you make
hangout.
this? Nice, good early air dodge. Hey, stay patient off the ledge. I want to check your ledge timings real quick. Okay, I'm going to keep that in mind, because I do want to know how well you play the ledge. Nice, good jumping, good short hop jumping. I'm really happy about this. This is good.
Getting grants.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I want Blackout the goat.
Did you beat Blackout pretty handy?
Nice, good down tilt.
Yeah. Okay.
I goat.
Did you beat
Good, doing the neutral
Blackout
nades.
pretty handily? Or...
Try to go for the up tilt, that's nice,
Yeah. Okay.
One thing you could have done here, I think, is, because I feel like you did this down tilt a bit too much like it was true, right? I know that you're trying to punish an attack attempt, but I feel like what you could do instead is run underneath them and flash your shield. That way, both him air dodging and him doing an attack.
Really? Or...
Tilt is just gonna lose the air dodge.
Yeah. Okay.
I need to learn Shulk Snake. Mate, can you teach me
Nice,
Shulk
good
Snake?
ledge play. Just absolutely
I
so
will
fluid
watch
with it right now.
I also thought I played.
Nice, good reacting. That's good. That's
The
good.
matchup is nearly
All right, got your nade over here. Nice. Throwing a nade over here. Nice. force him into the corner. You can play the War of Attrition, you're Snake, you're fine. Even if like the time is counting down and you're below percent, you're only gonna win. Now you are at down for if tilt percent, so I'm hoping you're keeping this in mind in the stock. As we're seeing here, you know, the moment you flash your nade, they take it as their calling card to just approach you, because you know they know that they can grab you.
If I just played a little bit more, but I don't know. That's more for you to download, so I don't know.
Dude,
Yep, that's not a
Blackout's
bad
so
option.
naturally good this game. I feel like he hasn't even been here
Bit
that long.
jump, a bit rolling heavy on the ledge. I feel like
How is Blackout so naturally good this game? I feel like he hasn't even
I'm
been here.
looking at your ledge options, and you might be.
won if I.
I mean, they weren't bad timings. Obviously, the timing is more important than the option.
I don't know. That's more.
And I felt like you mixed it up decently.
Blackout so
You may have gotten baited by him doing that nair
naturally
there,
good this game? I feel
but
like
I feel like it was fine nonetheless.
True.
And
ICK
hey,
grind.
that just happens.
Yeah, that's not good. See, ICK beat ESAM.
Yeah, I saw that.
Really good knowledge from Alex, I'm not gonna lie. Greedy for there.
Pummeling season. What's my phone saying?
His name's Nate.
I assume that was an input error. I don't know how you do your down for F tilt. If you're doing it with the C stick, honestly, you it's harder for no reason. You know what I mean? Because I don't know if my controller on me, but okay. I don't know if you are doing it with the C stick, but here's the reason why you don't do it with the C stick. Unless your C stick has been immediately set to neutral after you hit the sides, it won't register another C stick input. So that's to say that if you flick it constantly, you know, trying to get the F tilt, it's really unlikely for you to get it buffered because it means that it's wiggling in place and it's a non-zero chance that it's been returned to neutral, right? So you actually need to instead do forward and just mash A. That's the most consistent way. And by mash A, I don't mean like a strong input, just like hold forward and just tap A a bunch of times, and then you'll get the forward tilt guaranteed every time.
Nathan.
Who's talking?
Yeah, and there's nothing really to do there. That was kind of an unforced error.
I've been a.
Oh, forced error. Alright, so jumping into game 3? Yeah, it is.
Like it's.
Alright, good
like
break.
specified, but
Nice break here. I mean, F tilt is one of the moves you want to mash if you're getting hit. That and you can also do jab. But they tried to get the F tilt grab here, which I believe maybe it was too late or they just messed up on.
But in what way am I like Kuss? That's a good thing. I take that.
Okay, now they're going to Ivysaur. Alright, good reaction. That's really good. Nikita. Yeah, good, good.
Oh,
Nice.
Tiff, I love
Fantastic
that,
start.
honestly.
That was just
I don't think
perfect.
I've actually proper met you before, but I'd love that.
Oh, a bit of a dangerous nade play there.
Genuinely.
Nathan's a bit of a vibe. Also works at the same work as Toby.
Yeah, the other shop, but like
The
same
other
company.
one, same company.
Like,
Alright.
Toby used to work at this
Getting
one.
up it here.
Yep.
Bit of a
I
scary
figured that
scenario.
out, like-
Ooh, did we get a little lazy here?
Same company.
Or did we
other
just
Toby
lose our
used to-
double jump?
Work at this one.
And we fought it.
I
I
figured that out. Like,
feel like you fought your double jump, and I don't know where you lost it. Let's see. Like you double jumped here. There you are?
used to work. At this
Maybe. I don't know.
I figured that out like ages back, but so I was on floor, right? So just the cafe bit, and they give you these little tablets to go around.
Yep.
And so
Kind of dangerous to play with nades this close to each other, I think, in the matchup, because if Alex hits one of them, it's gonna explode the other. So I'd say be a bit
and
careful.
so the
Maybe
way it
try
works
space
is that
them
you've got to sign in
between
with
each
your
other a
number,
little bit
like,
more.
so they know who's selling the product.
Nice parry.
And so my number's number 8, and I must have misinputted it,
Yeah.
and I accidentally put it in. I didn't realize, and then when I printed out the
Nice.
receipt,
Good-
it was
good
like,
parry
it
game,
said
good
job
timings.
B. I'm like, oh, that's not me.
Yeah.
That's the person I know though.
Okay, nice. Holding
Yeah,
the
so I must have
center.
been-
C4 could be a little bit more forward, but you could also use this to your advantage, and you could swap places and slowly approach
funny.
that way.
I like how frame one.
Oh,
knew
perfect.
that
That's
you
such a good
played
bait.
Smash.
That is beautiful.
Then
I
I'm
really
like-
love just
That's funny.
abusing the low end lag on that into the. Oh, that's so good.
I like
That's so
how
good.
frame one they
That's
knew
like
that you
actually
played Smash.
beautiful.
You've never met them before. They
The
just know you
platform.
play Smash.
Oh no, that's it.
Yeah,
dude,
that was
do
so
you know what
funny.
the
Oh,
story is?
unfortunate and
Like,
misinput.
So second
Or
shift
misplay.
at my work,
Yeah.
I walk in and the
Alright,
first
catching
thing my
a
manager
dodge.
says to me,
Unfortunate.
This really nice mother, is like, "Oh Nathan, do you play Smash Bros?" I'm like, "Fuck! You cannot be
Unfortunately,
asking me
picking
that
up
in
your
public."
Yeah,
own
that shit
nade.
that's
That's
so funny.
okay.
Bro got reported like hell early
Literally.
on.
Ooh,
You had, like,
losing
one
an
of
air
those
dodge.
round one,
That
like,
should be
kills
death.
in fucking
Okay, never
moments.
mind. That was a good recovery
And
mix
I'm
up. I
like,
actually
yeah,
really
I do.
appreciate
Oh,
that.
Alex won the last game, by the way. And I'm like, yeah.
Down throw, what do
Oh,
you get
sorry.
from
I'm like,
that?
yeah, I
Nothing,
do
but
play
that's
Smash Bros.
fair.
How do you
Honestly, I think back throw
And I'm
dash
like-
tag's probably
and she's
more
like,
useful
"Oh, yeah,
there,
I know
but
you've signed
I
it
feel like
out of
that's
the
such a
shop,
nitpick
like,
on my
that's
end.
not part of the thing." I'm like, yeah.
And yeah, I would say honestly, neutral
and
get up's
she's like,
probably
"Oh, yeah,
the safest
I
thing
know
to do
you've
here
signed
in
it
these
out of the shop."
positions because you can just follow you with the up air
Like, that's not
instantly.
part of the thing. I'm like, yeah, makes sense.
I don't know.
Makes sense,
You
yeah.
can
My
mix it up,
manager
but
called
you
me
know.
out for being a Smash player, which is a terrifying thing to happen. But like, I'm low-key okay with it because everyone that works at my place is weird, and I'm just one of them. So
Yeah,
I
right.
fit in quite nicely.
That's good.
And then mess up
Like,
down B
My
reverse,
boss is a
unlucky.
Twitch streamer.
What?
Yeah, she's she's got like
Interesting
6.5K
call out.
followers. Like,
Yeah, right.
Okay, I'd like to see. So you're hogging. I think you're not getting as much effective value as you could be from these positions. Like, I feel like if you wanted C4 hit, be playing this side. You know what I mean? I would prefer having like a C4 between this sort of range, if you can imagine a range there, just because it places more pressure on the center stage and punishes them for hogging the corner a little bit more because now you control more stage. You know what I mean? But you have been anchoring nades here, so I can't be entirely unfair. I just do. I would think that placing a C4 closer to the center would be a little bit more functional.
like yeah.
But to be fair,
It's
you are
actually
yet
really
again
insane.
covering it with
That is pretty
nades,
cool.
so
Whoa!
it isn't the worst.
Funny story. I'll tell you
Yeah,
a funny.
look, like fully just like
Oh, is
a
it?
proper.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
yeah, I know, Maddie.
360 views on the.
I think
Sorry, I'll
that was
tell you
kind of a
funny-
lapse in their judgment, but
Fully just
good
like-
Oh, is it-
catch nonetheless.
Funny story. Because
Okay, going into game 4.
blackout.
I believe
out
this is game
and have
5.
no,
Well, it
no,
has to be because you lost, but
bring my Switch and I get a projector out. Oh no, my colleague gets a projector out for me. He's like, this is the one that you're gonna
okay,
borrow.
are we
for
going to see any
Journey to the West."
grabs?
He's like,
Yep, there we go. They tried to get a raw grab and
one
you punished
actually,
them.
so
So
you
I
can
feel like you got a little bit
familiar
more
with it.
better
Alright,
at
cool.
avoiding the
Sick.
grabs by just holding jump. Yeah, that's fantastic.
in.
I think we even talked about it like in the Aegis matchup, right? So it's actually pretty consistent.
Power. Holy shit.
Surprised you
Plug it
loved
into
that,
power.
Jesus Christ.
Plug it in and it's not turning on and I'm like, okay, it's right. It's just warming up. Plug in Switch.
Oh, a C4 blow there would have been
Just powered on
really
it 3
cool.
times. Fucking bang.
Nice.
Smoke flying out of
Nice,
the
good read.
projector. Keep in
Even if
mind
it
there's,
didn't
like,
kill, that's a
30,
really good read.
Like people here, and they're all going like, "Oi, Jared, you can't even fucking plug in a projector properly. Some fucking technician you
Nice,
are."
good
like,
avoiding.
"Oh," and
Ooh,
then
that
there's
could have been a
true
really good
guy,
whip
like,
punish. I feel like you weren't
some fucking
100%
technician you
onto
are,
it there.
like, oh,
Oh,
and then
maybe
the
you locked
guy,
into the
like,
run.
That gave me the
That was a really
projector,
good like
he's,
whip punish
outside
attempt though.
having like a beer, and he comes in and he just looks at
Yeah, it
me.
happens.
He looked at me like I was a child. He's like, "What did you do?" Like staunching me and starts like walking sternly
Okay.
towards me. And I start like jokingly running away, and everyone's like having a fucking laugh. And
So it's quite tough when he gets that. So he didn't let the lead go too far, and actually
Yeah,
that was
so
really good spacing.
we might have to buy
Let's
away,
review that.
and everyone's like having a fucking.
Yeah, I like
laugh.
that little walk.
It's really
Ooh, that's
funny.
really good. That's really good. Well done.
Yeah.
And obviously, an important thing to keep in mind is that they were out of the down for a percent windows, so that was a really good catch.
Yeah. So we might have to buy the projectors at the venue instead of hiring.
Okay, so he's getting a lot of pokes on Yuki's forwards.
which sucks. But
Ooh,
also
tried to catch you
down for a
there. You did
commentary
not get
photo.
caught lacking there.
commentary photo, do one, and then I need to go to the booth to the loot.
So you see here, like this is an idea
for a
where like
commentary
you
photo.
could just hold nade here, and if you get hit,
Commentary
maybe it's
photo?
fine. But I'm
Do
not
one, and then I
100%
need to go
sure
to
on
the
that
loot,
idea
To the loot.
because it's
so
dependent
cool.
on space.
I'm gonna go to the loot. I'll be right back.
Nice double back here, trying to get something. Not gonna get anything. Cyber comes out. Yeah, that's not bad. Unfortunate. All good though.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Oh, yeah, I mean, yeah, I feel like this back here wasn't a particularly scaled one. Because even if you hit it, I'm not sure about the value off of the hit for the reward. The value is probably getting them stage here and like a decent advantage state for you, but the risk is so for
Oh, I
for
didn't
the
hear that.
Ivysaur here.
Alright, let's see this game. Blackout. Currently
I
down.
like that you went for the reactions
No,
there,
I believe though.
but he
I
was a
believe
bit
in the
more
kid.
Oh,
patient
who
on
keeps
that.
picking the Xenoblade music?
I think it's Alex.
Oh.
I don't know. I don't pick music, and I think Francesco
Yeah,
plays that.
he forced it on you.
Okay.
Because he just ghosted.
Bro, I used to knew there's a kid in primary school named Francesco. I used to know.
Good avoiding there.
was the
Ooh, bit of an
fastest
interesting
runner.
scramble option.
The fastest runner.
He was.
Yeah, fair enough.
And then some guy named
Okay.
Cristiano came along. It was faster.
Cristiano.
Yeah, they're both Italian.
Francesco e Cristiano.
Yeah, bro's name was Cristiano. I'm not gonna dox his last name. That's crazy.
Okay.
It was crazy. I promise.
Let's go black out. I'm literally blacking out.
I'm blacking out right now. Who else black?
I mean, there's a couple ways you could look at it that last talk. It was pretty clear that you were on the back foot. Maybe you'd kind of meant it out. But I feel like you weren't playing to Snake's strengths enough, and you were just trying to
It was
get a
crazy.
hit.
I promise.
And in this position, who can really blame you? You know, you're 152%, but always remember that like Snake is a stake in everything, right? And this, I feel like, doesn't really play towards a strength. In these sort of spots, I feel like this is when you really turtle down and you just play full fundies. You know, you do use nades, but you try use your busted like grounded tools just to keep winning that edge and then convert into a stock lead, right?
I'm literally
And I feel
blacking
like you were
out.
just whipping a bit too much here.
I'm blacking out right now.
Like this up smash doesn't get you a lot. This up tilt doesn't get you a lot. This other up tilt
Who
got
else
you
blacking
killed.
out?
I don't know. You know, it happens. It's not a blaming.
Alright, game
It's
5.
not, it's not like a it's not like a strictly bad scenario because it's a tough game to win anyway. So you know, if you do randomly hit an up tilt, you know, hey, you know now you're in it, right? Taking them by surprise. But I think in those sort of positions, that's when you really like quadruple down. But I feel like you're better at that when it comes to the final games. And now I would generally ban FD against
Oh,
most
I was
players
supposed to
just
do
because
it.
I don't think it's favorable for
I'll do
Snake.
it with you.
But I don't know how you
Yeah,
feel about
that's
FD.
what I mean. Like, people used to not do it, and I used to
Nade pull,
just start doing it. Into D.
nice.
Wasn't the stage pick?
Barely not getting
That
grabbed,
makes
that's crazy.
We're on black FD.
Getting the back air on you, trying to get some other things on you.
I've just got
Nice
red
nade
set.
pull. He got the grab on you again. It's a tough position.
Dark FD.
Maybe you should try spot dodge more against Squirtle. I wouldn't spot dodge more against Ivysaur for obvious reasons, but Squirtle, I think it's generally
Final
fun to spot dodge
activation.
against, especially if you have a nade.
Alright, come on, bro.
Interesting. Uh, hmm.
D, my bad.
Final activation.
Like, I don't know. This is a different. It's a sort of. It's a sort of different. Different people like different kinds of wine. You know, I feel like you enjoy looking for this F smash, and it has worked before. And I feel like you've trained yourself to be able to get it decently as like a 2 frame punish, right? Um, and I do see you look for this as a scramble quite often. I think you know my feelings on these sort of F smashes, but I would just say that I think on a linear scale, the more F smashes you throw out for these sort of reads, the the kind of more risk you put on yourself. You know what I mean? I would replace a lot of these with like down smash, where down smash has less end lag, honestly a better angle, even if it isn't gonna kill. And it sets up into a strong advantage state anyway, right? And also covers both sides, which is very valuable. Obviously, the back air would have hit nonetheless.
Alright, come on, bro.
Oh, okay.
That's
Come
just
on,
my
bro.
insight
I
on it.
respect it heavy, but like,
Wee, wee, wee.
Alright, he's trying to get this on you. How do you mix up the landing? Nice, good C4 B reverse.
Alright, come on, bro.
Ugh, yeah, I think I don't know. If you've been keeping track, that's about like the fourth forwarder you've thrown out. I mean, let's contextualize it, right? So, Snake. Forward air has 19 frames of landing lag and is minus 14. Uh, but you also, to get it minus 14, you have to like hit it the moment you're about to land, right? And I feel like that's not what happens a lot of the time, right? It's quite a tough aerial to land really safely. I think it's something you really leave on the back pedal. And I feel like you were looking for it a little bit throughout the set, and I feel like it's really not worth. But that's just my opinion. Um, maybe you can get
Alright, come
away
on,
with
bro.
it sometimes.
Oh, dead?
He's not
Oh,
DI
weekend.
those correctly at all.
Yeah.
But I would say at the minimum, always try to fastball it. And I know obviously you probably were, but the only thing that makes it tough is that it's really annoying. But like he bumps himself up after this, which means that you can't fastball had you pressed it at that time,
Alright, come on, bro.
which is a bit annoying. But you
Okay.
probably knew that already.
He's not
Oh,
DI
weekend.
those correctly at all.
Yeah.
All right, he tried to regain more space, but he
Whoa.
misinputted. Ooh, bit of a risky
Oi!
nade again. I sort of
Oh,
loves that airspace. Getting the scrambles on you. Oh, unfortunate. I
Oh,
mean,
that
that was a
sucks.
really early down air from
That
him,
lasted
so
forever.
you gotta give it up, I
Yeah.
guess. All right, now again,
Oh, that sucks.
here I feel
That
like I'm
lasted forever.
sensing a bit of like a fuck. I need to get the stock out, right?
Extending
So we
Yeah.
see an up smash, an up tilt, a C4 place, a running in C4 out. You know what I mean? I feel like you didn't do a lot with this kind of seconds you were afforded, and this is when I think when you really need to take a stock is when you really need to abuse the ground game. Play around your strengths, play around up tilt, play around down throw, play around down tilt. Those sort of things. Again, I don't think I've seen a lot of down tilt from you in this set, which is a bit interesting.
Game's going quickly.
Good
Okay,
up tilt.
let's stick of this.
Interesting up smash. I think
Quick stop
up
too.
smash is kind of not that valuable in this matchup. Sorry, it was so late for me to say that. But
this-
in this matchup, and by the matchup I mean Ivysaur, because a lot of the time he can just drift back and just do side B, right?
Stick of this. Oi!
Nice edge check. That
Yeah,
was good.
Alex with the face palm. Not feeling that one.
All right, now he's got the Squirtle out. He probably wants to get a grab.
Oh, weak dash attack. Strong
But
dash attack.
you are conditioning him out of it. You're probably going to force a swap out
Oh.
soon. There we
Rogue
are. Now
pressing
you've got
that?
the swap. Now you've got the swap, right? Okay, one thing I want to mention is this nade pull here. One trick that I'd like to see you do, it's a trick that I did, is nade, jump, grab. It's a really quick way to to ledge trump into a back here. And you probably would have hit it here, because I kind of locked in it instantly. Yeah, you would have hit it. Then again, that B reverse was actually really good. But okay, you've set
Rogue
them
keeps pressing
to
that?
Ivysaur. What's the win condition? Give me one moment. Here we are. So from what I remember, Ivysaur, as well as Snake, as well as Squirtle, ridiculously so, have some of the roll ranges in the game, right? So if you're here, you can probably just mash up smash if you want. Just go for the safe and true, right? What Kanaji would do here is that he'd probably place an 8 here and then jump to roll distance, and then just try react to anything that he can, right? Here instead, I feel like you throw an 8 here, you're kind of getting into the flow state and just trying to kind of throw as many explosives as you want. And I feel like these are the most important moments to just lock in, right? So just place the nade, run to roll distance, react.
Smash.
It's funny as fuck.
Alex wasn't
You
even
did get the
there that
nade there,
time.
which was really nice. But again, flow state, you convert it into an up smash.
Like, Alex was off stage and we're with an F smash
All right, what are we gonna see?
on the C and like said it.
Ooh, again, a little bit preemptive. I consider this the Apollo Kage, and I know why you do it because of obviously the auto cancel, right? But again,
that time.
I feel like if you just
Like, Alex was off stage.
doubled down on like the
bro.
okay, 81%. I've done my free flow. It's gotten me a shitload of percent because it was a really good free flow. You caught him mashing on Squirtle a bit interval. Now you just react, right? This is basically a 50-50. You either grab him, F throw, side B, or you catch him jumping, or you catch him rolling, right?
We're with an F smash on the C.
And I mean, that nair might have hit, in fairness, it was a good call out, right? But it is
Yeah, like
still
that time.
a relatively tough nair to hit, right? Like, I
Like,
do
Alex
appreciate
was
the
off
jump call
stage
out
and we're with
that it was, but it also is still more risky than just reacting with like a back air or an up tilt, you know what I mean?
smash on the C.
But it was a good call out. I do want to
Yeah, like Senate
point
State.
that
That
out.
nails the right idea. If short hops at the pit.
Yo, they man. On the yeah, like Senate State.
Oh, that nails the right idea. If short hops at the pit.
Yo, they managed it right now. 88 and running with it. Oh,
There's the grab happening.
huh?
Nice. Good up airing out of Headstun. I really like that. Lowest end like aerial.
No!
Okay.
Oh!
Wow, that was so close. Is there anything else you could have done?
No!
I mean, that was pretty much, you know, like the right thing to do. I really appreciate that.
No, do you know the law? The only reason why Blackout wanted to get good at this game was to beat Nico.
Really?
Okay, side B. Yep, no, that was good. That was good. You forced a swap out of him. Now he's on Charizard. Now you can just
Oh! I was just
try
kinda
bait it
mad.
out. Now this was I can't fault you for it because it was the first time you've done it. That was just a good call out on his end. You kind of have to jump inevitably against this character, I feel like, because you can't hold shield forever. But I holding shield
Yeah.
best play against Charizard, at least for like the next 30%, because he's not going to get a kill off of a throw, right? So holding shield and just maybe rolling or something is fine.
I was just kind of massive.
And obviously worth punishing.
You know what else is massive?
The low table.
Sorry, I can't be loud like that.
Okay, got a back throw into a back air on you.
How we take the stock?
Right,
yes.
but you break
How we take
it.
the stock?
For the side B here, trying to control him. Not seeing a lot of grabs on these neutral get ups, I feel like. I feel like
Yo,
he's
he
kind of
looking for
getting
a roll.
past
He
them.
looking for the roll.
Can you blame him?
I do appreciate you
Yo, he
trying to
looking for a roll.
react
He
and
looking
just
for the
trying to
roll.
catch him doing something there. But you could also try pressure him with some more
He
down
looking for
tilts
the
on
roll.
the shield
How we
here.
take the stock?
Up to, is up
Yo,
to
he looking for a roll. He looking for the roll.
Can you blame
And then I believe it ended just about here. Yeah.
Oh!
I mean, it was kind of like he could have ended it. I feel like if he'd just gone for the down air. So I understand the air dodge, but yeah. All right. So, great set. Let's jump to the next one. Let me just make sure I'm still recording. There we go. So this one is a lot easier of a set to commentate because I think you knew where you went wrong here, and a lot of it has to do with just not playing the matchup 100%, or not playing towards your strengths, right? So one thing I want to point out, and I need a resource for here it is. So an important thing to keep in mind in the Shulk matchup is that he only has a few real ways to get things off of throw, right? That's the thing with most sorties is that, you know, they've got good normals, but their throw game kind of sucks most of the time, unless you're Roy or you have like a really early bread and butter, right? Like I believe the the sort like Lucina and like Marth get like up throw up tilt, but generally I do believe it's more of a frame trap. But you know, in general, sorties are not known for their combo grabs, right? And it's something that Snake abuses a lot, right? Because he can pull a nade, right? And if they hit it, they have to have a really long move to be able to outspace it. Which, granted, Shulk has a couple of them, not all of them, but a couple. And you know, if they grab Snake, well, it's fine because they're probably not going to get a lot of it, right? So there's a couple ways in which Shulk can circumvent this, right? So on Snake, where are we? Here we are. So Snake, they can do. They can basically do down throw, down tilt, or down throw F tilt on you if they have Buster Art. So if they're glowing purple, they can grab you and they can get a decent amount of combo on it. It's around like 20 or so percent, or maybe even 40, if I remember correctly. It's quite a decent chunk of change, and it's also a bit dangerous for us because if we are mashing nade, that also can be bad for us because that means that we're both taking the extra damage that the sword deals to us and the explosion damage, right? So that's the only time you have to worry about grab in the purple range. The other times you need to worry about grab is when they have speed art, you know, when they just want to run at you and get the grab. It's not that threatening because it probably won't convert into a kill confirm, obviously. But it does send you into an edge guard, right? And the other use for grab that they have is like on normal Shulk. or just any other Shulk where they can just do up throw into up tilt, right? Actually, no, I lied. There's one other reason they might use grab, right? And that's if they have red smash art, so they can kill you off of a throw. But those are the three different ways you can use throws, right? The main sort of weakness I would say about Shulk is less so, him, not having the best throw game, right? In terms of like consistency, and it's more so that he can't really deal with you high recovering because actually his punishments to Snake disadvantage are very lackluster in a lot of ways, and I think that's one of the biggest reasons he does struggle with them. That and also, obviously, Shulk Nair is his best way to kind of force an option. It's very safe. It's like I believe -3. But as Snake, you can kind of negate it by just having a lot of nades out, right? So if they can't freely whiff moves because if they hit it, then they will explode. Now granted, I've looked over, I've explained the sort of, the intricacies to Shulk grab game. I feel like you weren't forcing that enough from Teehee.
Had have
And
told me
let's
that
just
story,
watch.
we'd be like, you're having a laugh, mate. But no, I believe it.
So they go for the Nair here. They were forced into a bad scramble, and
Yeah,
you
into the
kind of
game
won this
anyway.
situation, honestly.
We're at
You didn't win the percent, but you got put into a better
40%.
situation. Then again, they
That's
dropped
all
in
it
with the Nair. We're seeing a lot of him using Nair, and them using Nair, and you punishing
Yeah,
it.
this match,
Now,
what's
good.
going on
Good
with
use
the
of the
game?
nade. I mean,
Yeah, so
you're still losing because you're losing the war of attrition, but it's good that you're at least keeping them aware of it, right? But we're not seeing a lot of shield here.
like, this matchup for Shulk players, they're always sooking that this is garbage. Like, unplayable, what
Funnily enough, I think this only breaks forward air because of the Buster,
Whatever.
which I think is funny.
I don't see it. I think that, like, Shulk has got so much in his arsenal that this matchup has to, like, be even. Whatever. Like,
Up tilt, yeah, that's fair.
Boohoo, you have to play
Probably going for the fast full air dodge is a little bit safer in this sort of matchup because he has more sort of a bigger range. In general, if you have bigger range, mix-ups are kind of less valuable as Snake. So against sorties in general, I value the fast full air dodge a little bit more.
slightly differently to versus
Yeah,
character.
Okay, good call out.
Yeah, it's like
Good call
top
out
tier
again.
mains, unbelievable.
Yeah,
Interesting air smash.
tell me about it.
But
Nade gets
yeah,
called
I
out
just think this
again.
matchup's pretty even. With
And yeah, your jump gets called out. I feel like, he doesn't have a good grab, so you don't need to worry about jumping a lot. And I feel like you should be focusing on baiting him into hitting your
like,
shield,
of course,
which I
Shulk
feel like
has
you're not
played
getting a
little
lot
bit
right
differently.
now.
Can't just be throwing around like
Nice, good scramble.
like
And
we got him.
willy-nilly. That's
That was good.
crazy.
What?
Was she in like speed art or something like
Sorry.
that? Has to be.
No, I think she held right, and then it was just.
I don't know if that would have broken you out of
Has to be.
Headstone. Let me refresh my memory on the armor that Uppy has. That's 8.4%. Shot frame data 8.4%, 8.4%. Okay, so it would have. Okay, yeah, that's fair enough. That's a tough situation to be in then.
I think she held right.
You might have
And
avoided
then
it,
was just
but
enough.
it's fine.
What the fuck's going on, man? Just give me 10 seconds to just
Okay, you were playing good around the baiting there.
see what's going on.
Yeah, this is the only time you need to really worry about the grab.
Fuck, it's
Maybe more down tilts would be useful here, but I don't know. Alright, you got the bait. Nice.
Fucking blackouts on last stop.
Awesome.
Crazy, man.
Awesome,
Like,
awesome.
What?
Yeah,
you've
cool.
got
Keep those nades
two
out,
players
keep those
here.
nades out, make some
You're like,
minefield.
one's playing a current
Nice, good
zoner,
whiff
one
punish.
historically was a zoner match.
Ooh, bit of a dangerous
Right.
whiff, but nonetheless. You
There's
couldn't
no
shield there,
zoning happening.
unfortunately.
Nah, not at all. They're just running it straight.
Okay, couldn't
Straight
get
up
it
in each
down.
other's face.
Yeah.
It's like schoolyard brawl right here, dude. Where it's like both of them just flailing about.
Yeah, watch out.
Face, it's like
You can get caught
schoolyard
dashing back a lot in this matchup, and it's almost better to have just
Brawl
held
right here,
nade
dude. Where it's
there.
like both of them just flailing about.
Holy fuck.
Like, Shulk is very good at overcommitting for this reason,
Actually
because his
correct,
forward is so long, and his
But yeah, like, you
neutral
can't
is also
tell me,
really,
like, what May's doing
long.
right now is just like, oh, this is losing. Shulk, get out of here.
Yeah, like I feel like Shog's moves on did the screen get
Fast
knocked off?
Village. Ooh, dangerous.
Yeah,
Fast Village would have made it through, but the C4 also did barely make it through, so well
I
done.
feel like all Shog's moves are safe enough for like her to just be really like aggressive. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like-
As, like Nathan's argument when he was telling me about it earlier is the fact that like, oh, the only thing that breaks Cypher is back air and like unstaled.
Untrue. What is Nathan talking about? At least I don't believe that's the case.
Was it Nair or Fair?
The
It's
fact
just
that
like,
Shog can break Cypher in the first place
Yeah.
is fucking great.
it's like, granted,
shit.
like you know,
Good
when I
forward
played
throw.
Yoshi, that was so easy, dude. I think Nair did it.
I like
But yeah,
your
just
your
Nair
awareness in that.
recovery
That was
was
really cool.
crazy,
so
actually.
good. It's like,
Uh-oh.
man, this
Nice
character's got
dash
so
check.
much in his arsenal. Like,
What the
Yeah,
fuck
getting hit by
happened?
it, that's fair enough. That'll happen.
Actually, mate,
All good?
you know, things go wrong.
game 2, PS2 again.
Oh, I'm so sick of seeing PS2.
Yeah, May's loving this stage, huh?
Yeah.
Good. Can we get a
think
rip?
that is
Oh,
Actually,
unfortunate,
my favourite thing
but
about not watching much Ultimate nowadays, I don't have to stare at this ugly ass.
okay. So you got caught in the grab. What should we do here
Ultimate
instead? Maybe I guess F tilt.
Don't have to stare at this ugly ass.
Maybe counter poking is a little bit more valuable.
I hate the
Nice
colour
down tilt. I mean, down tilt's kind of the sortie killer. That's a
It's
move
such like an
to
awkward
use, obviously.
tone of green, and it's such a stupid nitpick me. But I'm just, it just
Okay, I would not play the
Tone
air
of
tier
green,
game
and
against
such a
Shock because his
stupid
hitboxes
nitpick
are
me, but I'm just-
massive. So probably playing a bit more grounded is a bit more valuable.
it just irks me in a way that I can't describe. It's like just makes it just a little bit more saturated. Just be a
Ooh,
little bit more
famous
Yeah,
saturated.
forward air.
yeah.
Trying to catch you
100.
lacking.
Wait, this matchup's
The F
not
smash.
bad at all.
Yeah, no.
Nice,
It's
good
like,
pass fall.
The fact that like Shulk players have the sheer audacity to say that this is losing.
Like,
To a
look,
point-
she just doesn't approach. She's fine.
Yeah, it's just like you watch Nathan. Nathan played Dr. Mario into this.
Yes, guy. I love dog.
I love Doc, but like, bro, to say that Doc has an easier time than Shulk, get out of here, bro.
No, you're laughing. I don't
You're
think there's a
laughing.
single matchup in the game where Doc has an easier time than Sharp. I don't think there's a single fucking matchup.
No, I don't actually think that
no,
exists.
100% not.
Alright, good catch there. That was
nice
good.
gun.
Nice, good patience.
Nathan, name one matchup that Doc does better than Shulk does. Yeah, exactly.
He doesn't even fucking
He doesn't even know.
Who's Nathan?
Bit of a risky one there.
German Xenoblade.
Lost in the
That
source.
guy, yeah,
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
a gang. He's a gangster.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just like, bro was just like trying to convince me. It's like, nah, dude.
Yeah. No playing the air game.
Yeah, he's dead. Oh, no.
No playing the air
Wait,
game.
Blackout's in the lead. What? When did this happen?
Yeah, I fucking killed with C4. F2.
And
Lead,
how did
what?
we
When
land
did this
here?
happen?
Was this
Yeah, I
quarter?
fucking killed
Yeah, it was.
with C4. F2.
Now
Let's,
look away for a moment. It's like, bro, unbelievable.
let's go Joy-Con Ginny.
I know, unbelievable. The fact she still uses Joy-Con.
I'm seeing him
Let's go
catch you
Joy-Con
nade a
Genie.
lot, like pulling out nade and not getting the shield before, and I'm trying to think why is that the case?
I know.
Maybe okay, you know
why-
what? Maybe there's a different. Maybe we gotta look at it differently. Maybe the way to pull nades here is the problem. Because what we're seeing here is that you're
Yeah, look
running
away for a
in
moment, it's
and you're
bro,
pulling the nade.
unbelievable.
In
go
these
Joy-Con
scenarios,
Genie.
maybe you should try this like back stancing more, where you pull the nade facing backwards and then you dance into them, right? And then you shield, right? Because I'm seeing a lot of standing nade, so I feel like that might be what's missing from your game plan right now. In general, I feel like you should do more nade walking because you can instantly shield out of it. And I do feel like that's something that you don't really tend to develop a bit.
Ginny.
I know, unbelievable. The fact she still uses Joy-Cons,
Yeah, my fucking go.
it actually like destroys my soul so much. She's gonna eat good with Switch 2 because you'll actually have a decent
That
controller.
combo was fucking crazy.
I know.
What the fuck? Do you know where she...
You'll actually have a decent
That
controller.
combo was fucking crazy.
I know.
What the fuck?
Switch 2 actually like destroys my soul so much. She's gonna eat good with Switch 2 because you'll actually have a decent
That
controller.
combo was fucking crazy.
I know.
What the fuck? Do you know where she got the nickname Joy-Con Ginny from?
Wasn't it you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I first met her, she hadn't transitioned yet, and
Yeah,
I was like, "You look like a Jimmy."
I remember that. Yeah.
And then she was like, "Oh yeah." And then she played Joy-Cons, and then I remember the first major band 12, I think it was, that we went after Joy-Cons.
Yeah, I'm not sure about this 4-day habit, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like you do this quite a bit now. Maybe it's just, you know, just from the day and you just felt really lost in the sauce there, but I feel like I've seen you do this quite a bit recently. I've already gone over my thoughts on it, but it's interesting to me.
That we went after COVID, I was like, Joy-Con Jimmy! And then she transitioned, so it was Joy-Con Ginny!
I know. It actually worked so perfectly.
Yeah.
Like,
If it was any other name, I wouldn't be able to find as good of a female version for it. But Jimmy and Ginny, it was just gang gang.
I know. It's like you had like the foresight to be like, yo, what can we make this easy with?
Look at that. That's really cool.
It was just gang gang.
I know. It's like you had like the
Very happy with
foresight
this
to be
name
like, yo,
movement. Look,
what can we make this
That's
easy
really good.
in the future?
Yeah.
I'd be a fan of seeing you do that more.
Honestly, my fucking god.
It's very cool to
And remember, you can camp the platforms a lot more, because in general, Sorties struggle with
see,
that.
like she's maintained her spot at the top for so long.
When you pull
even
nades.
after changing characters, because like she only really played Pac-Man. She didn't
Nice
really play
back in.
anyone else.
Nah, back in the day, like, what is she in secondary on the Pac-Man? She had like a Mega Man phase.
Ugh, not a very scaled back air there. Down air would have been
Yeah,
better,
I
but I
like
feel like
Mega
you know
Man,
that.
Yeah.
Which, dude, Mega Man was fire. I give it full
Nice.
credit for
Could have
that.
gotten a grab maybe,
Dude,
and
like,
maybe that would have been
that
more
was
worth,
it,
but that's
really?
fine.
Yeah.
Back air was a bit dangerous there.
I actually don't
Again.
think that there was like another character that like
It's, honestly, going from Pac-Man to Shaw and to
again, like you also just love Pac-Man. I think
Pac-Man's
Pac-Man's such
gangster's
a like
fuck.
funny character.
Not a bad stage pick. I'm
Like,
actually quite a big
zoners
fan
in
of this.
game are like cringe unless you have like the tech.
Now,
Like,
obviously, you did hit
zoners
this back air at like a percent
this
that I would
game-
say like, oh, you know, not super scaled, but it wasn't bad. I would say though, like, you know,
Pac-Man's such a,
Gangster's
like,
fuck.
like
funny
let's look
character.
at what they did, right?
Like, zoners
They did an empty jump, then I think they did double jump, right? So maybe you could have followed that as well. I mean, it's a good back air here. I
in
won't
this
lie.
game are like cringe unless you have like the technical zone.
Because also you don't have the risk reward on yourself, like you're low percent, so you can still look
That's
for
what I'm
that. So
fucking saying.
you know,
It's
it's not
like
always
then, it's
bad
like
to
you
look
can
for a back air
appreciate
at like
what it is that
relatively
they're
early
doing. I
percent.
think
I don't want that to be the takeaway.
Snake is
I
one
just
of
want
those-
to say that like at high percent, that's when you least want to do it.
Yeah, I can appreciate what it is that he's
Nah,
going for.
Snake's a fucking loser no matter what the fuck he does, honestly.
Man, I love like Snake is just like epitome of what I find fun because it's just like bullet hell in a game. It's like, bro, I'm
It's
so
just like you gotta play the game like it's a different game when you're playing against a Snake, man. Like fuck. And I play
Yeah.
Lucas. It's a good matchup, and I still fucking hate it. Like Molly's
Yeah.
week one Snake whooped my fucking cheeks, brother. Like
I still don't think I've lost to Molly Snake so far. I actually don't remember the last time I lost to a Snake.
oh, Molly's the only Snake in this fucking. I mean, I've learned to blackout today.
Yeah, true.
Like
Hmm.
Molly's
Yeah.
week one Snake.
Just like epitome of what I find fun because it's just like bullet hell in a game. It's like, bro, I'm
It's
so
just like you gotta play the game like it's a different game when you're playing against a Snake, man. Like fuck. And I play Lucas. It's a good matchup, and I still fucking hate it. Like Molly's
Yeah.
week one Snake whooped my fucking cheeks, brother. Like
I still don't think I've lost to Molly
Hmm.
Snake so far. I actually don't remember the last.
Okay,
Last time
so
I
I
lost to a
feel
Snake.
like you got the lead here.
Molly's the only
And
Snake in this fucking.
did you
I mean,
jump again?
I've learned
No, you did down there. Bit of a risky
to
maneuver,
blackout
isn't it?
today.
Yeah, true. But I've been
But
loving
you made it
watching
back?
Blackout's like
Wow,
steady
it's
incline
quite a
to like success.
dangerous
How
way
long
back, I
has he been in the
guess.
scene for? Because I've never fucking seen
Not
him.
that long, dude. I'm pretty sure his last tournament, like his first tournament,
Yeah.
was like the one just
I'm trying to think, what can you do in these positions? Because I feel like she's camping the air
before
here.
Enigma 100.
Okay, you definitely don't want to jump in the air. That's the last thing you
Oh
want to do.
shit.
Yeah, no, bro's not been around for that long.
Nice,
Yeah, so
good F tilt.
he's pretty fresh face
Uh,
overall. I played him at his first.
Alright, that was good use of your strengths. Putting the nade there. Obviously she did sink behind it. Honestly, that might be I'll put that in my write-up. I think you could be moving with your nade dashes a little bit more. And just kind of reacting more with it. Holding nade and using the nade movement. Good down air. Down smash would have been better. Forward air. Up tilt, you really don't want to use up tilt at these percents because these are only if this is like only 2 hits away from when up tilt would have actually killed. So you really want to keep if the opponent's around 50, you really don't want to use up tilt because you fresh. 50 to around like 80, I would say, don't use up tilt because you want to keep it fresh. Because the moment they hit like 90, you kill them.
Yeah,
Nice.
things are looking really tight, back and forth, like a very even percentage. Things can go either way. That killed so early.
Is that true?
Things are looking really tight, back and
The
forth,
true
like
punish.
very
I feel like you were maybe actionable. Yeah, you were. You tried to F tilt.
percentage.
That's fair. You know, it
Things can go
happens.
either way. That killed so early.
That's my goat.
I know this is like town where like the side blast zones are small as hell,
Yeah,
but like
I
bro,
love this stage.
this is
Nice
like
nade throw there, actually.
town
It's so
where like
little,
the
but
side
I really
blast zones are
appreciate
small as
that.
hell,
Yeah,
but like
I
bro,
love this stage.
Good way to catch the jump.
get
Nice,
fucked,
good punishing
actually.
negative
Actually,
hit.
Pajaro. Just like kick her teeth in, dude. Unbelievable. That's what I imagine you did to that guy in Pajaro last night. You know,
Again,
teeth
don't
in,
play the
dude.
airspace.
Unbelievable.
You're a grounded character, and against
That's
sorties,
why I
it's
imagine you
really
did
dangerous in this position, right? Obviously, there's a time and place, but
that
not
guy
here.
in Pajaro last night. You know, run up
In general, if you're in the air, it's because you want to go to a platform, right? Or because you're retreating using like a B reverse.
just clock him one.
Just clock it with my hit.
Nice. Oh, unfortunate.
Yeah,
That would have
Just like
been
you're like
it.
stepping up a step by the height difference. It sounds like.
Win rates. Where the fuck is?
I'm gonna assume that was a misinput.
Just like you're like
I feel
stepping
like
up a
what
step
you meant
by
to
the height
do was
difference. It
just
sounds
F
like.
tilt 1 and 2,
Win.
but we talked about the C stick thing, right? How if you flick it constantly, it won't actually come out. I don't know if that's actually what
Right,
happened,
so
but if it
the
did, that
The fact that
sucks.
someone actually tried to arc up and get tough with you is like, dude, if you rocked up at my door at any time, me knowing you, I'd be like, all right, what do you want? Take my wallet, please.
No,
Oh, it's interesting here. I think she went for a confirm, where so if you triple tap Shulk martial arts or whatever they're called, you can deactivate them. So I think she kill confirm where you deactivate it, but she just barely flipped it.
honestly, all you gotta do is bring your
So
wife
that's
to
true,
the
I
door,
guess. I
shit
guess
my
that's what you
pants.
gotta look for.
I love that woman.
No, dude, feed.
the door.
Yeah, so I'd
shit
like
my
to see you
pants.
in these air scrambles when you've got them in the air. Like when Ivysaur was in the same position, dashing under them and shielding is really strong because you punish them. Mashing an option out of disadvantage, air dodging. So here, I mean, up tilt would have hit if you did it right, but also parrying into the up tilt would have worked as well. And I feel like there's something to consider.
I love that
more.
woman.
No, dude, feed.
Is
will cook
dash,
you in
flip
the
Yeah,
shield
face.
after
she's
you hit
gangsta as
someone
fuck, I would
in
never
like
fuck
a
with her.
hit
Absolutely
situation.
not.
Get fucked. That's
Dude,
such an
feed will
awesome
cook
trick.
you
I'm
in
glad
the
you
face.
did. You're so
she's
good at this.
gangsta as
It's so
fuck, I
cool.
would never fuck with her. Absolutely not.
I know you never mess with a palm, dude. Don't do it.
I don't know. I've messed with a few
Do
pomps,
you get
but
caught
she's
here?
different. I have versed Blackout
Yeah,
before.
you do.
Yeah,
okay,
I
that's
bet-
crazy.
Hey, it happens. Really good showing, nonetheless. I feel like it had a lot of potential. To summarize, there's things I would say is well, firstly, let's go to the Pokemon trainer set. Be aware of the kind of game plan that Squirtle wants to go for, which is the grab, and try work on the counter zoning against Ivysaur. Those are very obvious things, I know, but those are the main things that I feel like you were dealing with, right? And I feel like you had a little bit of trouble with. Specifically, the way you would counter the Squirtle gameplay is probably just doing it the same way we're talking about like Aegis, right? Which is, you can jump a lot, he can't do a lot. Even if he hits you in the air, it's fine. Against Ivysaur, I feel like it was a little bit more in depth. I feel like you really needed to catch him using side B a bit more and just kind of punish him for that. And then obviously just shield against Charizard. It honestly is fine. Like you don't need to worry about it a lot. Maybe against Ivysaur you could have used a bit more aggressive rolls. I think in both sets you could have moved with your nades a little bit more to reposition yourself. But one thing that I noticed specifically, and we'll dive into this for Shulk's one as well, feel like you were playing on autopilot a bit sometimes. You were just, you were constantly in the source trying to keep it up. And I get it, you're adding more to the mental load. You're constantly changing your rhythms of pulling C4 and pulling nades. But when at the end of the day, when you're at like the stock, sometimes you just need to play the ground game. You need to walk, you need to use your F tilt, your up tilt, you need to use your grab game, you need to kind of play more reactively, which I feel like it was not your biggest strength this tournament. And that extends on to the shock one as well, right? But for the shock one, I would also specifically say move with nade a little bit more and approach backwards more, so that you force your nade behind yourself and you are like fronting them with it. So that means that when they hit the nade, you get more off it and you're less likely to get it hit by just pulling out the nade. Because if you're gonna dash back and pull a nade, you're going to get hit by shock because their aerials are way too long for you to avoid that. But if you press nade first, then dash in, I feel like you're more likely to avoid that. Otherwise, yeah, that's all I have to ask. I'm really excited for Journey to the West. I'll be sure to watch that, and I'll probably get the whole gang to watch it in Wellington, and we'll root for you, man. Ciao, ciao.